There we go. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another High Top Sports episode. I'm in the studio with man Steve and Chad Holly. I'm Sheldon.
Oh, boy. How are you today, Sheldon, my friend? I have not seen you in a minute. It's good to be back, baby.
It feels good to be back. Man, a week feels like a long time now when we do these things. It's weird, but it's only because so much has happened. I think that's the big thing. A lot has gone down in this last week, and when a lot of stuff happens, it makes the time feel longer and farther apart. And I think that's where we're at right now with this week. We got a jam-packed show. We're talking football. We're talking more football. We're talking basketball. We're talking more basketball. We're talking fighting, literally fighting and with fighters, but the good kind of fighting. It's going to be an absolute banger. Stay tuned. We're excited. All righty.
Let's get ready. Let's go, baby. I'm excited, man. It has been a week. Almost feels like too long. We might start giving these guys a little bit more content in the middle and just trying to bridge the gap. I miss these guys. I'm not going to lie.
I do.
Guys,
look, I enjoy it.
I look forward to them.
I enjoy the shit talk. I enjoy getting razzle-dazzled by these few people. So let's get right into it. Let's first things first. March Madness. Some of you guys signed up for the bracket, which we appreciate. It's been an exciting one. I'm going to be honest. So far, how it's laying out, I'm not surprised. Your boy sitting in the top three. Look, so here's the thing. I don't want to win our own bracket, right? I don't want to win. But I also don't want to lose to everybody because if I win, I can say yeah, look, I expected that, and we can just give second place the trophy in a sense, right? But ours is in second, High Top Sports is in second, I'm in third, and then Taylor Russell is in first. A last-minute bracket. Bro, no lie, Peters calls me at 11 a.m. He goes, does Taylor have time? I go, she's got an hour. Clearly, that's all she needed because she's in first place right now.
Running things.
Not even looking back.
I have to imagine that the only way that a woman picks like her bracket is Chicago. Oh my gosh, the shopping there is amazing. Illinois, ew.
Yeah.
The color scheme is just not going to go for me. So that's the only way that I can think that that's how they go down the list. But it always seems to work for them. I can't figure it out.
So just had a teacher in high school. She was a cheerleader coach as well. She would choose her basketball team based on how well the cheerleading team was. And she won like 2 out of the 4 years that I was there from that method. So it was crazy. Maybe we should have looked into that too because absolutely wild.
Now, it's funny. Here we go.
Daniel back at it again.
Daniel's back.
I love it.
Look,
back at it again with the white bands.
With the white bands. But look, I mean, you even threw it out there. Like the way that you determine how successful an NFL wide receiver will be is how well have you done on my fantasy team? And maybe there's something to that. There may be just a little something to those small nuances, things that you just don't think about until all of a sudden it just hits you like a ton of bricks. She was light years ahead of us.
Literally.
Probably not me because we're probably the same age. But
I think you are. I think you're close.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, she was onto something, and I think that might be kind of tied into what you were talking about last week with the fantasy concept.
Let's give a few updates. Tyler Waters, which I'm assuming is Muddy Waters. I don't think we could do anything else. Coming in a solid fourth. Look, UCLA is going to be his breadbasket. UCLA gets the dubs. He's going to take it home. We got Richard Husey in fourth with Kansas. My grandpa, he put a bracket in. He's in tied fourth. Ryan Bork is in fourth, but he picked Kentucky. I don't see him doing too well.
I don't know if that's going to have the longevity.
No, we've got Joe Parr.
It's got the height, but not the length. It's got the height.
Yeah, it's no bueno. We got Joe Parr. We got Arnaldo Arande. Not sure who that is. Must be somebody who watches. So thanks for putting one in, man. He's got Gonzaga. We've got Greg. He's got Kentucky, who's lost. Brightman's got Kentucky, who's lost. My little brother Logan, who has Baylor, they lost. And then Sarah has Auburn, who lost as well. Everybody else I haven't mentioned. We got Sean, John, my mom, Connor. They're not even close. I think based on how the bracket's going to play out, they don't really have a chance. But those first few teams, they're still in it. There's still an opportunity. Like I said, Ricky and Tyler, they have UCLA and Kansas. That's their bread and butter. Right now, I'm a huge Zags fan in our bracket and our work bracket because that's who's going to bring us to the Holy Lands.
Look, Zaga looks good. I mean, they've come out of the gates a little bit slow, but that's
What's up, Maverick?
They've done that in the past. They've come out. They haven't looked super sharp. But look, they're grinding through. And here we go with Gonzaga and Arkansas right here on the precipice. Now, look, I think even though the SEC's had a rough road, I think Arkansas is the type of team that can trip them up. You just possession ball and be able to hit your 3-pointers. But look, Gonzaga's had a rough road. Georgia State was a laydown. Memphis was a grind, and I think Arkansas has a real shot at upsetting a lot of people, myself included. But not quite anything to the level of what Kentucky has done to everyone's bracket. My goodness, wake up to the sound of the East bracket being done by the end of round 1.
Quick, dude. Look, I wasn't sold on Kentucky. I didn't have them going to the Final Four. I had them going a lot further because I didn't feel like their road was as hard, and it shouldn't have been. They win that first game. They literally are coasting right now. Canes win it all. Look, Canes look good.
They look too damn good.
Canes look really, really good. Muddy says picking Michigan State to upset Duke. Look, I like the pick. It wasn't a bad pick. I mean, obviously looking back at it now, Duke looks like they're on a roll. They look like they're on a mission to get it done. And Maverick even says he's got Duke because it's Coach K's last season. I don't hate the pick. I was very 50-50 on it. A lot of people in our work bracket chose Duke, which I'm glad I didn't, because if that was the case, I would be right to kind of shoot in. So Gonzaga is my last saving hope at this point. Hopefully they can finally get it done. But I wouldn't mind seeing Coach K losing Gonzaga. I don't want to see those guys win. I mean, it'd be cool kind of walk off. I respect Coach K, but I don't want to see Duke win another one. No shot.
No, I mean, look, but the fact that he's gotten this far, it is an amazing swan song. So they're in this round, and that's awesome. So if they lose in this round, you still feel like you get to send Coach K off with the right respect for a great career. If he keeps winning, though, we've got a couple of guys at the office that feel like that they're just going to keep playing hard. We'll see. Man, if they have to play North Carolina, it's not going to go well for them because that didn't go well all year. But
North Carolina, I think it's going to be an interesting Final Four this year. I think North Carolina has a good chance. I think Miami was going to be the UCLA of last year. That bracket doesn't look too stiff. Kansas is coming out of that bracket, right? That's the 1 seed. The 2 seed's already gone. Wisconsin, they're gone.
They're
right.
Out. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
So it's Miami, Iowa State,
Kansas,
that's right. Providence, Kansas,
bro.
Providence.
Miami.
So
it's not crazy.
Shot here.
It's not crazy,
especially if Providence can do something crazy and
we said that was the easiest bracket. Remember, it was the one we felt the most uncomfortable about. That I didn't feel good about either 1 or 2 seed coming out of there, nor the 3 seed. I was not sold. I pondered Colgate and Wisconsin for a minute. I really did. Iowa State, I probably should have thought a little bit harder, but I always feel like once they get past the first round, it's more of a sweep. And now looking back, the North Carolina over Baylor, it seems so clear to me. It was just, I think the mullets is why I kind of rode with the Baylor train. Bro, and not to mention our last minute audible there on Baylor and Tennessee.
Yeah, let's go back to that. And for anybody who was on the cast when we picked these teams, we had Baylor, Tennessee going deep. We had
Final
Baylor
Four.
Going deep.
Both in the Final Four. We had Baylor in the finals.
We reeled it in. I think Muddy helped us a little bit. Ryan, I think Kentucky's still going to win.
There's a chance.
Maybe in the round robin tournament below the NIT. But I think Muddy even threw it out there. The Baylor's lost some folks, and it just
and then
it
he
felt
said
like we should take a break. We went back, and it made all the sense in the world.
He said I will never cheer for Tennessee. And I go, you're fucking right, Muddy. Fuck Tennessee. There's not a chance that I would want to root for them to go any further than that. And so I was like, screw them. Kick them all the way back. All the way back. I thought like they would do a little bit better, but I couldn't believe it. Let's go real quick. Let's go over this. We kind of already got into it a little bit, but the SEC absolutely sucked in the tournament, which we weren't. I was kind of on that train already. Like I said, I felt Auburn was overrated. I felt like Kentucky was an overrated 2 seed. I had LSU losing first round. Arkansas, I was 50-50. Bama, we had losing first round, right? Arkansas made a good run last year is why I was going to say it. Say they could have had an opportunity. And then Tennessee, honestly, was my only, I felt, was the best looking team out of the SEC. I was wrong.
Look, I mean, everybody always feels that and here's where the blue blood thing comes in, right? Like you watch basketball, and you say, okay, these teams are historically in the dance,
Yep.
and even when they're a little off, you always give them the benefit of the doubt by saying, well, it's Kentucky, well, it's Duke, well, it's North Carolina, and this year it just felt like Kentucky was pedestrian. They were a bit pedestrian. They played, decent in the SEC tournament. It was one of those things where you just felt like the name recognition.
It's always no. They didn't even make it to the finals. They didn't even make it.
But I mean, it's just one of those things with the name recognition.
It's Kentucky. It's like Duke. It's North Carolina. It has a value. It's a brand. It's not really even a team. It's just a brand.
It's certainly
Coach
not
Calipari
that you think is going to go down to the St. Peter's Peacocks. You think Kentucky's going to win that game.
Hey, I'm a peacock. Got me fly. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how Duke's brand carries into next year, right? Because with Coach K gone, I don't feel like that's going to carry this. And Syracuse basketball has been the same way, right? After Coach Boeheim, right? Was that right?
Yeah, Boeheim, yeah.
Boeheim, he left. They haven't had the same type of brand recognition as they want. And they look so decent at basketball, but not like they were. Where you saw them in the dance, like, all right, they're going to be that. They're going to be killers, right?
Sure. And then you have the Michigan States with Izzo. Izzo's on the back end of his career. So what happens to Michigan State when Izzo's not around? But you start to, especially in basketball. Basketball is what football used to be, where like the coach was almost as iconic as the brand that they coached. And then things became a lot more transactional, but it wasn't quite that way in basketball. You had Rick Pitino at Louisville forever, and then he left to go to Boston as a professional coach. It wasn't until he came back to college and went to Kentucky. Like, what? You went from Louisville to Kentucky? You can't do that. But basketball coaches are less transactional, especially the old school hardcore lineage ones. Like even Roy Williams was in Kansas forever, and he went back to his alma mater, if I believe so, at North Carolina, and finished another 15 years there. But those guys stay kind of hunkered down. They're not so up and down, transactional and moving around. And keep it down.
We've talked about that. And segueing into that, Muddy even says, is John Calipari? It's a great question. Is John Calipari on the hot seat? Now, it's a fun question, right? And it's almost like one of our what if questions. It's a little clickbaity, because why is that even a thought? Because he made it to the dance. But if we go back and look, and I was thinking about this as we were kind of sitting here, Kentucky hasn't really done anything in a very long time. Sure, have they made the dance? And we've always said making the dance is all you need to do, which is why I don't think he's on the hot seat. But is he coasting? Can Kentucky see that, look, he's just doing what he needs to do to get there, and then he's like, it doesn't really matter? I mean, obviously he was upset about losing, but it just feels like he's kind of got it on cruise control, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so Calipari is a weird bird, right? So he was at Memphis. He had a lot of success there. Obviously, Kentucky picks him up. Great coach decision by Kentucky. But he came with a lot of just controversy and unsettlement. But then it turned into Calipari's mentality was get these kids who are right on the potential of going from high school to pro and get them to come in and be one and done. And he just churned out team after team after team that were all freshmen, sophomores. Hi, Audra. Freshmen, sophomores, and they're just going into the league one after the other before they even see their junior year. And I think at some point he started to get that philosophy started to get a little confined. Like if you're not getting the top 5, top 10 players at each position every year, well, now you're talking about building longevity and building a lot more of a team cohesion. I don't know if that's where Calipari strives. He's been get the talent, produce the talent's going to leave, and you backfill it. And it just lately doesn't feel like he's been able to do that.
And that's a great point. That's something I've always known. He's a great pump and dump guy. He gets him for the first year,
It sounds filthy and disgusting.
But yeah, he's always had the record-breaking freshman class that comes in, and they do well. But will he ever put a team together that wins? And I was thinking about watching this too. Like a lot of the teams that are doing well are put together. They've been together. They've built this squad, and they've now they're here again, and it takes time. I mean, you think about, we talked about with the Fab Five, right? That was a great squad, and it took them, they never won, but it takes time. You have to have the experience, and I don't think Calipari is going to ever have a team that has enough experience to make it through. And Duke has been like that.
That's not the way he doesn't present the school that way. He presents it as a transactional relationship.
It's a portal.
That's it. He is basically a portal, almost like a D1 league.
Yeah,
for the NBA.
He's created a G League. Yeah. Beautiful. Well done. Great. As always, Muddy just brings in great topics for us. They got to get this guy on payroll. Moving on really quick. More basketball talk. Listen, guys, this is going to be a fun one for me. All right, so sit back. We're going to have some fun. I know we have some people who don't care about basketball, but we're going to have fun with this. First of all, I want to say something here. I don't know if it's this trend we've got going on here, but our last two basketball coaches, their last names were colors. I don't know if it's something that we're trying. The last guy didn't work. The last color name didn't work. Maybe this one. I don't know. Maybe we're trying to put some inspiration, right? Some golden, like a golden trophy. I don't know. I'm playing around here. Here's my thing. We all were hooting and hollering. We got to get rid of Mike White. He's trash. What are we doing here? Right? Blah, 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 blah. And I kept saying, I said, look, guys, I hear you. I feel you. But we don't know what's on the other side. We don't know what's out there waiting. I'm not hating on Todd Golden. It's not a hate on Todd. But who the hell is Todd? Right? Like, bro, when we signed that, I was like, so you mean to tell me we're signing the guy that just lost first round to Murray State? That's what we're doing here? And then Murray State goes on to lose to a Peacock? Now, hold on. I have some good things to say, so I'm not finished yet. I'm not shitting on it. But
go ahead.
He comes in. I know for a fact a lot of Gator fans were upset. I saw it all over my Facebook, everything. People were like, "Who the hell is this guy?" Right? Like that was kind of the thing. Same thing a little bit when Billy came around. Not as much as Todd, right? Not to mention our 5-star recruit bailed this past weekend. Said I'm out.
I saw that.
Said I'm deuces, which we also knew was going to happen. I.e., homeboys going to Georgia. So, look, we as Gator fans, we find ourselves in these positions because we talk. Mike White, it came out that he left. His kids were getting flack from us Gator fans. I love being a Gator fan. It's great. I love the Gator Nation. But sometimes we've got a few of them that can just be dicks, and we overdo it, right? It can be over the top sometimes on how we go after. I mean, Muschamp got it brutal, right? I mean, dude,
he deserved it brutal. I mean, he hold on. For the record, Muschamp on his way out accused Florida fans of giving him death threats. Yeah, or was that Butters? I don't know.
No, Muschamp said it. Muschamp said it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm speaking to. That's what I'm speaking to. Muschamp was getting a lot of flack too. So look, the good thing now, something I was reading about Todd Golden. He's a young guy. Billy Donovan was a young guy. Mike White was also young, so I kind of like the trend of being a young guy. He builds a great relationship with the players, which I think is huge. Something that we're going to get into soon with Billy Napier, what he's been doing, right, is it's a heavy emphasis on relationship building. The other thing is an analytical way of thinking. That was kind of a big thing that I saw in an article that I read, which Billy gives me those kind of vibes too, right? And what I mean by that is we talked about the Mullins of the world, where it was very more of a swagger that Mullen tried to carry, and I'm a presence that I'm carrying. An Urban Meyer has that presence, and Nick Saban has it, but I think Nick Saban has a way more analytical way of thinking, just like Bill Belichick, right? Everything is gone through the fine tooth comb. That's where I think the Todd Golden comes in. So it seems to me that there is a trend on who we're going after. So I do like that a lot. I am excited, and it's fun to it's fun to have that fresh start and to get everything moving on the right page and new coaches on all across the board. But at the same time, it does kind of worry me a little bit. It's like, look, kind of what I said was going to happen is, what else is out there, right?
Sure. Well, look, to your point, so going over Todd Golden's coaching record prior, he was an assistant at Columbia. He was an assistant at Auburn. He was an assistant at San Francisco. He took over at San Francisco for 3 years, and now
his record wasn't great.
Yeah,
he was part of the upset over Virginia, the 4 seed in Virginia. So he was the 13 seed then. So that was a big win for him to coach those guys.
That's a big one. But, I mean, just to give you a little bit of background, I mean, kind of going over Billy's background before you guys got him.
Wasn't thick.
I Yeah, I mean, well, it was great. I mean, he was an assistant at Kentucky. He was an assistant. Uh, he was the coach of Providence. I mean, he went to Providence. I mean, like the guy had a little bit better.
He had Rick Pitino
background.
too over him.
Kentucky, Marshall. Yeah, he was under Pitino for a long time.
He played pro ball. He played pro ball too.
Yes,
Billy did.
It was semi-pro, but yeah.
I don't think Todd ever even went semi-pro. I don't know. I didn't see too much about Todd.
It doesn't show that. No, but I'll throw this out there. Todd is American Israeli, so go Jews.
Oh, well, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
For those who know, Steve's Jews. Muddy said, "Do we sign a coach too quickly?" I felt like he was very fast. It was kind of weird to me on how there's an entire March Madness left. I mean, how much? Wow, we got a thumbs down for that. All right, sorry guys. Wow.
Fuck me.
So Money's saying St. Peter's coach stock is rising and seems like an awesome Grand Slam coach. Reports came out of a high up on Florida personal who worked at Auburn New Golden as an assistant under pro at AU. Muddy with the stats. So look,
golly.
I don't hate it. It's just
we might be replacing me here. I'm not gonna lie, Muddy. I'm not sure what your availability is on a Wednesday, but I might have to go to the bullpen every once in a while.
Yeah.
I think I'm holding you back here. I'm holding you back.
We're calling in the reliever here. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see. He wanted him out. Look, and again, a lot of people wanted him out, and this is what I was worried about. We all wanted it out, and now here we are kind of like.
And here we are with this.
Did we want him out?
And the high top fans have become cannibals.
Ivor said LSU was going after Golden. So look, I mean, there could be stuff there that we're not all seeing. I'm not completely hate on them, but again, it seems that my mindset, right? We fire White. I'm assuming we're gonna make the jump up. I don't feel like we made the jump up. We maybe went out for potential for the jump up, right? But we'll see. Thank you, Daniel. Whoever gave the thumbs down, you're lame. Amen to that, big dog. Appreciate the love, Daniel. That's my dog right there. That's my dog. All right. Let's go on to next topic. Emory Jones has left the building.
Yeah, my dark horse is out of the barn.
Yeah.
Left the barn. He's done here, people.
Yes. I was glad you owned up to your L there. That's a point for Shelton. I'm going to go ahead and add my plaque over there to the trophy. We got to bring the trophy back here soon. We should have done it for the damn March Madness. This is a perfect time to bring it back.
We just won the damn thing anyway. We're the high top boys. What's up?
What's up? So another like. There we go. Let's counter the dislike with all the likes.
We're back in the game.
Love it, baby. Right, he still disliked it. So with Emory leaving, we're at 12 now. Let's go, baby. Let's get the subs up too. We're like 165 away from 1,000. Let's keep the boys going, baby.
Yeah, I'll keep the tour out of this. My bad. Shit. I don't know. I didn't know it was so sensitive.
So Daniel says he's saying that Napier lied to that guy, to Emory Jones. It seemed kind of weird to me how quickly. I don't know if Emory saw our videos of us trashing him throwing. I'm just kidding. But he comes in and then he had his first practice basically, and then he's gone. Now, I do have here his top 5 schools right now where he could possibly be going. Let me read those off to you guys. So right now, number 5 is Kentucky Wildcats. That's where, again, the top 5 destinations. There's like 3 of the 5 that I would love to have happen, and I think because they're all SEC schools, and I would love to go against them. I think it would be awesome. The other one being the Virginia Tech Hokies.
I'm sure you guys would love to go against Emory after the way he played the first 5 or 6 games of the year.
Yeah.
Like you guys are, yeah. Go ahead and line him up. We can't wait for that.
I love it. Virginia Tech Hokies. I wouldn't mind if he went there. UCF Knights. I don't hope he doesn't go there because, I mean, it would just feel like it would be a speck. We wouldn't even hear about him kind of thing, right? West Virginia Mountaineers, I would be okay with that. And the Missouri Tigers, I hope, okay, maybe it was only two schools. So I hope he goes to either Kentucky or Missouri just because I want to just continue to see him play and us play against him. But it is crazy to me how quickly he left. I will say Ryan, he kind of called it.
He did call this out, and I'll give him credit, and I hate to do it, especially where other people can hear me doing it. However, he did say, look, AR-15s rehab is going much better than what they had anticipated. I think Billy Napier was doing everything he could to pad the quarterback room to make sure that he had the talent in the room available to play if AR wasn't ready. And it sounds like AR is, again, like I said, ahead of schedule. So as that started to play out, it looked more and more like there was no place for my dark horse.
Your dark horse. And so Muddy nailed it perfectly. Basically, I think he came in and he even commented, AR looks better than last year, and it was close to last year. And I think he sees that Miller is a solid second right now. And it's like, look, I'm not going to be needed or used here at all. I'm going to be fighting to get an opportunity. And all those schools like Virginia Tech, Missouri offered him. All these guys are offering him who he'll be able to slide right in. Kentucky does, Ryan even said, it does have a quarterback at play there. So it was the 5th pick. He's saying ASU. So, again, if he was ASU, we'll never hear about him again. I loved when Will Grier, I was a huge Will Grier fan, when he went to West Virginia. I was still able to keep up with him a little bit because it's on the East Coast a little bit. It's a big school. I hated that we lost Will Grier over the Flintstone Vitamins. But I loved watching him. I felt that he was a way better quarterback, and probably if he would have had a better college career, could have transitioned better in the NFL, but that's besides the point.
I feel like West Virginia, however, is like the wayward home for quarterbacks. Like if you get in trouble, you go to West Virginia and they turn you into like a draft pick, and it's like the strangest thing. Like like Greer goes there, and you had Pat White who ended up there somehow, who ended up doing well. But it just feels like it's like if a quarterback doesn't play out well in the transfer because of either disciplinary or whatever the case may be, they just end up there and they just go off, and everybody just kind of sits back and goes, huh, that could have been our guy. What's the college that makes you feel bad about the quarterback that you lost?
Sure. Oh, look, Muddy and Ryan agreed on something. He's even going to ASU or Georgia Tech. So
yeah, Jeff Collins at Georgia Tech is he's grabbed a local quarterback here. I want to say from First Coast that he played as a freshman, if not last year, but the year before. That's a good place. Look, it's kind of close to where he's from. I want to say Emory's from Georgia, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure,
but yeah, but I want to say that's not a bad spot. ASU seems like a little bit of a stretch. But Georgia Tech, that almost seems like just a puzzle piece that fits right in.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be lied. I think it was pretty clear. Like, hey, we want you to become that security blanket. Let's see how things look for a spring training game. At least give me that. I think that was probably more so the conversation from Billy to Emory. And like Muddy said, I think he came in, saw kind of the health and where it was headed, and just saw the competition was too tough. So look, I'm happy he was able to walk away and hopefully has an opportunity to play somewhere. And we'll see from there.
Yeah, AR-15 kicked down the quarterback door with his bad leg and said, "I'm back, baby." And Emory was like, "Well, I'll just be seeing myself out."
Yeah,
so I'm assuming that's how the whole thing went down.
Yep. Alex said, "What about UCF?" That was another option. We'll see. He says reports, and look, real quick before we move on to the next topic, which is going to be a good one. Muddy's saying reports are buzzing that AR is the real deal, and Miller had a rough 3 practices, but finally found his groove on Saturday. All quarterbacks stink at the deep ball. Through and wide receivers look very bad. Wide receivers needed big, and that is something we definitely do need. That was something I feel like we didn't do well in this past recruiting class. This next recruiting class, which we're going to get into soon, again, we seem heavy on the defensive side, a little bit quarterback side. I haven't seen, again, definitely more wide receivers, just not, I think, where we need to be. But I think that buzz, again, we talked about him being a Heisman favorite. It's there for a reason. Ryan is set in stone that AR is going to be the Heisman. And I saw a few practices.
He's committed. I'll give him that. He's been saying this for a year. So
we got a lot of flack on our last video talking shit about those guys throwing the football because like it's new, he's fresh. I was like, look, guys, we're being a little harsh. There's very little video, but we were there for it.
That. My gosh.
Real quick, we're going to go to Tyreek Hill and then get into recruiting talk for Florida. So this is obviously an absolute banger news today. This happened very quickly and very fast. And I kind of wanted to go break it down a little bit. It's not the fact that Tyreek Hill went to the Fins. I'm more impressed of just where we're at in the world and how it went down and the history that was made. All right, here we go. So I had to look up because Tyreek Hill being traded was just, it threw me off guard. Like I was like, where did this come from? Like where, how did this, first of all, how did this start? I thought the relationship was fine. I would never see this happening, right? And why wouldn't, like, I would assume Kansas City would want to pay Hill. That would be my thought, right? Well, apparently they didn't want to pay him. He wanted an extension. They didn't want to give it to him. He then gives his agent the nod, hey, I want out. So then the agent goes and should be the highest paid agent of all time, because then he gets two teams that are interested in Tyreek Hill, and now Tyreek Hill is the decider of where he's going to go. The Kansas City can't accept the offer. Tyreek Hill is choosing. I know most guys have it, but it felt different this time. Right? I know some guys are like, hey, I prefer to go here, I prefer to do this, but it was like, hey, here are the offers. Where do you want to go, Tyreek?
Like, what? Right.
What?
And you're right. It's crazy because look, Tyreek Hill feels like with the way that offense runs, it's wide open. It's get somebody in space and let them make what could be a 1 yard play or a 2 yard play on maybe a little quick screen into like a 40-yard play. And that's been Tyreek Hill, right? So you have the speed. It's speed that you can get to the outside, and heaven forbid you over pursue that, because then you have Mahomes that can just beat you on the backside and just go that way. Because let's be honest, I mean, the running back situation hasn't been all that great. They have Hilaire, I want to say out of LSU, but they've kind of had just a rotating stable of running backs that fill in kind of a plug and play. It's been, the Mecole Hardmans. It's been Tyreek Hill. It's been
Pringle,
Mahomes' offense.
Sammy.
Yeah, Pringle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have done more with the outside and getting speed up and down the field than they have in the middle.
And because Mahomes is great of keeping the play alive, which allows those names we just said
guys to break free from somebody or to find a hole in the zone when things start to break down. And it feels like, gosh, you're giving away probably one of the most potent weapons, especially in that offensive scheme that I've seen in a long time. Because look, it's not out of the question for Tyreek Hill to start going in motion, and instead of finishing the motion, to stop back and be the running back.
Sure.
I mean, he's been all over the field for them. I mean, I'm the most surprised by the fact that he is so utilized in that offense and that he wasn't a higher priority to keep him there.
I totally agree. Real quick, make sure you guys, if you're brand new, make sure you guys like and subscribe. We're really close to 1,000. We're trying to get there. I see some new names and new faces on here talking, so we just want to kind of shout out to you guys for joining and tuning into us. But so to your point with Tyreek here really quick. So with all that, I want to grade the trade. Okay, so the Kansas City Chiefs got 5 draft picks, I believe, 2 first rounders. I have it pulled up here.
It's 3 first rounders. No, it's 3 picks this year. I want to say 2 first rounders.
I've got it right here. Where the hell is it?
And then there were 2 for the next year.
So they got a number 29. They got a first round 29th pick, a second round 50, and a 4th round pick this year, plus 4th and 6th round picks in next year's draft. Now, here's my grade. I'm giving the Fins. I'm probably being a little harsh here. I might get a little flack from this. The Fins, I'm giving a C+.
Yeah.
I'm giving a C+. I'm giving the Kansas City an A. We'll leave them at an A. And here's why. I'm not a huge fan of Tyreek Hill. I've always been kind of like a I think he's fast. I think he makes great catches. And this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. I'm going to get roasted for it. And I'm here for it, okay? I'm just hear me out for a second. I wrote this down. Tyreek Hill was drafted in the 5th round. I also want to say he was a 2-star recruit out of high school. My reason for telling you that is everything that I just said, all the 5 picks that they just got are higher than when Tyreek Hill got drafted. My other point I want to say, and going back to the fantasy point, is you can find a great wide receiver late at any time. It's surprising how late you can find some of these guys. Not all of them, but it's more, you're more likely to find a wide receiver that can excel later on, or a fast wide receiver like Tyreek Hill, right? In a late pick. So to me, you gave up a lot, and now you're paying this guy. He is going to be the highest paid wide receiver of all time. It's $172 million, I think, something like that, right?
Yeah,
is that
wild. Right? Let's take a peek here.
120,
yeah,
including
120.
his 120.
120
sorry, 72 guaranteed. So that to me, and Connor saying, who's a big Fins fan, they still have 2 first-round picks in 2023. And I did remember them having a ton of first-round draft picks. So I kind of get it. So maybe I bumped that to a B because they're in a place to do something like this. So I kind of get it. And Muddy says, hey, I think they're a contender. And again, they were a great ball club last year. They were basically right there on the cusp of doing it. They just signed Teddy, so they have a great backup now. But again, his legs keep him alive. I think he was a great fit for Mahomes because Mahomes kept the play alive. But if that guy's not busting the speed down the field and you don't have time to get there, none of that matters anyways. Again, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this. I'm not completely sold on Tyreek Hill. It's a very boomer bust style of play to me, in my opinion. I think Jalen Waddle. I do, however, agree that he's going to be a great complement to the tools that they already have, and I think that's why he had great success in Kansas City because, like we mentioned before, ton of tools there. They've always had great running backs. They had Travis Kelce, not to mention the other wide receivers. So I'm kind of talking myself into a higher score for the Fins because I think they made a good move for this year now. I do think that they're spending a lot of money on a player that in my opinion, isn't worth the highest paid wide receiver of all time.
Now, look, at first it seems like, okay, so what are you going to do with the highest paid wide receiver going to a team that is still trying to figure out the quarterback position?
That's my point.
They've got Bridgewater. Like Miami has Bridgewater.
I think Tua is the guy, I would imagine.
Yeah, but Tua is your guy, but is he really all that impressive to us? Now, that being said, we're also going to give him now Raheem Mostert, Phillip Lindsay.
He's
got Myles Gaskin. He's been there for a minute, right?
Chase Edmonds.
Yep, Chase Edmonds is there. But now from a wide receiver standpoint, you have
Jalen Waddle.
Fuller. You have William Fuller, who has been there. You have Tyreek Hill. You have Alan Hearns. You have Devontae Parker and Jalen Waddell. Yeah, so
Waddell, it's Waddle.
Waddle, who cares? But I guess my point is, look, you're only going to be as good as your quarterback. You can have 45 NFL Hall of Fame wide receivers, and if you just have a potato at quarterback, you have a potato at quarterback, and none of them ever matter. So again, going back, your quarterback, then you believe in your quarterback, and it's worth the money. If you don't know if your quarterback's the guy, or if he just hasn't maybe seen the light come on, I don't know if that money is worth it.
A great example of that.
It's going to come back down to whether or not Tua or Bridgewater
get it done.
Can play. Yeah.
A great example of that is Baker in Cleveland, and I love Baker, but I mean,
yeah, he had ODB, he had Landry, he had Chubb,
Kareem Hunt. You had everything that we're talking about. He had all that, but they can't get it done. It's easier to find a wide receiver, right, in a later round and develop a wide receiver than it is a franchise quarterback. We've seen that time and time again. Wide receivers, their life expectancy is much shorter. They come and go, right? The injuries are much more likely to spend that much money on this kind of guy. Who's been in trouble for I'm pretty sure beating women, right? I mean, and so it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of things there that are kind of on the. So one thing I do love is Miami's head coach just came from San Francisco. Absolute legend. The guy's a bro. So I'm excited to see him coach.
Well, speaking of mistreatment of women, we also have another massive trade, or at least a free agent pickup in the NFL. Speaking of Baker Mayfield, the writing is on the wall. There's no chance in hell. I don't know. I can tell you where he's not going to be next year, and that's the Cleveland Browns, because the Cleveland Browns are now the happy owner of one Deshaun Watson.
Unbelievable. These guys, I don't know what's going on, dude. It's absolutely crazy. And then not to mention, I'm a Falcons guy. Matt goes to the Colts, and then we sign Mariota. The Falcons are in just complete disarray. Like
look.
On one side, we've got the Braves who are just spending cheddar, which we'll get into, and just completely we're winning right now. And then you've got the Falcons. They're just like, look, we're just here to have a good time. We don't really care about.
The Falcons have to rebuild. They went to the Super Bowl. They have to get rid of the quarterback. He's 33, 34 years old.
I get it. Jones, Matt Levin was like Freddie Levin. Like what a year, right? Like it was just the two OGs who've been holding these dynasties together have moved on, and they both moved on to blue and white teams.
Forever, kid.
They both moved on to blue and white teams. It's beautiful.
That's true. color schemes are the same. Maybe they should get together and have a beer out in blue and white land.
That's good stuff. Real quick, I gotta find the audio really fast for you guys. Hold on.
Oh Christ!
Scared money don't make money, you know.
Yes, sir. Scared money don't make money. It has been an absolute. It's been mayhem for the recruiting. It's been really fun to watch. It's a ton of great news that's coming out. The branding has been phenomenal. All the money that Billy went out and spent on the recruiting classes and the people involved with this, it's working. It's doing really well. So let's just kind of go over a few things really quick. I got a few names, a few kind of just verbiage or quotes from guys. So top recruits that visited this past week. We had a 4-star recruit, Cedric Baxter. He's the number 4 running back in the nation for 2023. We had a 4-star safety, Jonel Aguaro, 2nd in the nation, safety. 4-star defensive lineman, AJ Hoffler, 39th linebacker in the nation. 4-star wide receiver, there it is, DeQuavius Sori, 14th wide receiver in the nation. And then 4-star D-line, Ruben Bain, 21 D-line in the nation. Not to mention, we had the Gators have been predicted to land 5-star, the number 2 quarterback in the nation, A.J. Harris. Just absolute mayhem is going on right now in Gator Nation, and I love it. Look, there has been so much news for 2023 that's happening right now that I try to kind of just chump it down into a few sentences because the names and the visits and who's been coming out and who visited this past weekend has been insane. We had 2 big quarterbacks that came out as well. Let me go over that really quick. Cormani Mclean, he's a 5-star cornerback. Sorry, not cornerback. His mom was impressed. And again, this is something we talked about in the past where he's heavy on the family influence. I think he realizes with these kids, like, sure, the money's there. They want to do this. They want to do that. But it wants to feel like a family and a united nation in a sense. So I think they're pushing that really heavy. The vibe that I'm kind of getting to in a way, and as I was reading this and going through this stuff, and hear me out really quick for all the throwback fans with Friday Night Lights, right? When you watch Friday Night Lights and what made it so good and what made the team good, right? Obviously it was a TV show, but was the camaraderie, right? With the family aspect of everything. And I think once the money and all that kind of gets spread out, I think that's going to help with some people, but it's going to come down to where am I going to feel happy playing, right? Because the money isn't going to, I think eventually the money's going to matter, but it's going to hopefully even itself out. And that's what's going to win in the long run is how do I feel, where am I excited to play at? And that's the vibe that I've been getting. And all of the guys that are coming and visiting Florida, like, hey, something's going on down there. It feels really good. Now, could these kids just be hyped up because it's their first school they're going to? Maybe. But maybe that's the key, right? They're the first school. He's getting to them first. So he's spreading it out there, getting the tentacles out there. And now it's free marketing, right? Because his kids are so pumped up to be here. And they're just going out and saying, no, that was incredible. I can't wait. So it's good to see.
Look, I'm to the point where if a kid is coming out of Louisiana, the state of Louisiana, that there's at least a 60% chance that you guys get him, regardless of Alabama's a neighbor, or if these ever even considered Florida. At this point, you guys have done a great job at taking the kids that he's been recruiting for a long time and showing them the benefits of being in one of the Florida universities and playing down here. And so I wouldn't rule him out of anything at this point. He's done a great job.
Sure. And so Napier's Twitter account is
Scared money don't make money,
It's legendary, okay? The guy just tweets out just little emoji sunglasses, guys, like just little teasers. And
yeah, that's the thing, though. That's what the coaches do. Like they send those things because they can't talk about recruits, so they just put these little drops in there.
Little swags.
They'll put in like an area code. They'll drop an area code like 305. And they're just like, oh my god, that's the guy that we want.
Mayhem, dude. It's really fun to watch. Like I said, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see where this choo-choo train's headed. It's all good news right now. So. Look, that's all we kind of have on the recruiting stuff, but I did want to go over because it has been an absolute blast thus far. Moving on, Colby Covington gets knocked out by Jorge Mazeldoff. And not in the octagon. Jorge Mazeldoff.
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 I said there'd be no more shoe references.
We're getting another dislike. All right, we're up to 18 likes. Thanks for the likes, guys. We appreciate it. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, the whole staff has been tweeting sunglass emojis, basically hinting we landed a monster, and it's hinted as AJ Harris, 5-star cornerback from Alabama. Yeah, everyone. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's tweeting that. So Jorge Mazeldoff is a fan favorite. He's 305, right? I went and watched him against Usman in Jacksonville. I was literally the only guy cheering against Jorge, and when he got knocked out, I was talking shit to everybody because it was incredible. I was snoring on everybody. It was awesome. I think Jorge is highly overrated. I think the Dana White definitely plays the card of fan favorite because it makes more money, right? I think Conor got obviously a lot of big fights. I mean, he was good, but obviously because he was able to sell himself as well. Jorge is good at doing that, right? Jorge has always been a chump in my eyes. I've never been a fan. This just confirms everything that I've always believed in. I'm right. Feels so good to say this because now he's getting shitted on because he walked up to Colby Covington at a steak restaurant. And again, these two did talk about getting in a fight outside of the arena because they just wanted to kill each other. Once best friends, now hate each other. They fought 2 weeks ago, which we'll get into. Walks up to him in a restaurant and just sucker punches him. Now, there's a huge issue here. Now, does it sound like that big of a deal? No, but when your career... walking up and sucker punching somebody is a lot different than just fighting somebody. When you're in the arena, you got your adrenaline pumping, you're ready to go. That's why you see those guys just taking just blow after blow to the forehead. Like, you're like, how does somebody do that? You're in fucking fight or flight mode. Like, that's what people don't realize, what your body is capable of when you put yourself into that position. Sean, what's up, man? Appreciate you stopping by, Bubba. When you put yourself into that position, right? So... hold on. I want to get to Ryan here in a second. So walking up and knocking somebody out, I mean, and just when they're not ready for it, there's a lot that could happen.
He was trying to enjoy his fillet. Like, I mean, you don't see it coming. You didn't have a chance to put your guard up.
It was a sucker punch, Ryan.
It was a sucker punch. Come on.
It was a sucker punch. And look, there's a lot. He's pressing charges, which I think I think it's a little cheesy, but you got to realize what you're putting on the line. This guy's career is fighting. You blow an eye socket when he's not ready for you, right? Again, all these things could have happened, but it's you lost when it mattered, when you had all the eyes on you, you couldn't get it done. So you walk up and sucker punch. You're a coward. You're a punk. You're a baby. Get over it. Don't be a sore loser. He never said, look, if somebody walked up and knocked and punched Conor McGregor, that man has said some messed up shit. So I totally get that, okay? He has said some horrible things about people's children's, wives, mothers, you name it. Conor has said it.
You probably earned it, yeah. I don't think this is that case. I don't think that this is a situation where
they hate each other. They hate each other. They said some shit, but it wasn't to that extreme.
Not to that extreme. Like, the guy's just trying to, like, he wants just a nice glass of cab. You don't know what kind of day this man has had, all right? He's just trying to enjoy a nice glass of Cabernet, maybe a white wine spritzer, all right, with his steak and maybe some roasted asparagus. Like, that's all.
Can
we just not get crazy here?
Every article says was sucker punched twice in street fight with rival Jorge Mazeldoff. Now, it could be clickbait. The next one. Breaking his tooth. They also broke his tooth. Felony arrest after sucker punch left Colby Covington with broken tooth. I got one of the best. Oh, Jorge Mazeldoff bragging. I got one of the best sucker punches in the business. Ryan, lawyered. Okay?
Gosh, come on.
Lawyered.
Look, and the one thing about being in the octagon is, like, yes, to your point, you actually get the ability to get yourself psyched up and get ready.
Mentally prepared.
The thing is, you're wearing freaking gloves. You just hardcore knuckle somebody in the mouth when they're not expecting it. Like, of course you're going to shatter their face. Like, I mean, you're just straight knuckling somebody. Like, in the octagon, as strong as you are, as good a shape as you are, like, you get a chance to defend yourself, and they wear gloves. There's at least a little bit of padding. Don't get me wrong. A knee to the face hurts, but, you know, a knuckle
again,
to
but you're in the
sinus cavity. It's different.
You're in the fight mode. Ryan said it was half a sucker punch. All right, we'll agree to disagree. It was a sucker punch. No, Colby did not lose the real fight. He did not lose a real fight. Look, here's why I love this, because it just proves that Jorge's a punk, which I've been saying this entire time. I think he's a coward. I think he's a punk. Maurice Colburn, you guys have an excellent show. Love the covers on the Gators.
Appreciate that, Maurice.
Keep up the good work and stay flexing. Hey, appreciate it, man. Make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell if you're not already. Make sure you drop a like. We gotta counter the dislike. Somebody was hating on Holly being a Jew. I don't know why. It's not a lie. He really is. So that's kind of messed up if we're hating on my guy.
Profile. Do you see this nose? It's free.
Next thing. So we talked about Freddie Freeman last week, and we kind of called it. I was like, well, not called it, but Matt Olson got signed, and we talked about it last week. And I was like, look, Freddie's gone. I'm okay with it because of the money that we're saving. It's a good move. And the money we saved, we have spent wisely. Okay? But there's a lot that's been going on with this Freddie saga, which is, it's weird for one, for Freddie Freeman to be involved in a saga. Two, for the Braves to be involved in a drama/saga. And what number am I on? 4? 4, for us to still be talking about it. For us to still be talking about it because it's Braves baseball. And we're not New York. We're not LA, right? We're not Miami. We don't get involved with this drama. But it was a big one. It hurt a lot. Freddie went out there, kind of shitted on Alex a little bit when they said, hey, did you see Alex? Because when Alex was talking about the whole Freddie situation, he had tears. And they're like, hey, Freddie, what do you think about his tears? He goes, I saw him. So it was... Oh, Muddy, we're going to get into that. Thank you for reminding me of that. I saw it. Look, I'm surrounded by a few Braves fans. We're in a camp right now where we're not huge fans of Freddie. We're a little frustrated at the situation because if you break down this man's contract, he basically chose LA over Atlanta for $7 million. $7 million when he's making 160 is literally a Tuesday night, okay? And if he stays in Atlanta, the money he would have made through branding and contracts and being just plastered on billboards would have made up for the $7 million, which is leading us to believe as Braves fans, like, you never really wanted to stay. And everyone's, and people, and there was a cool quote that I saw, because Chipper, he took less money to build around him. And it says, everybody wants to be Chipper until it's time to do Chipper-type shit. And this was one of those situations. And the money we saved allowed for us to go, and kind of the Dodgers kind of came and swooped and kind of screwed us, and go sign old Kenley Jansen. And again, I'm kind of iffy on signing closers like that because those guys are so hot and cold. It's crazy in a closer land. It's their life expectancy is weird. But I like the move. It's aggressive. I like where we're at. Ryan, Freddie should hire the same helicopter company as Kobe. Look, and to be fair, Chipper gave Freddie advice. He goes, look, they're going to move on if you don't let them know what's happening, right? If you try to call their bluff, they're going to call it over you. And he was trying to say, nobody communicated with me. They offered him a 5-year deal for just a little bit less money. Basically, after you break down the contract, it was like $7 million less. And they said no. And so here we are. Freddie-less. It's sad to see, but I think he truly wanted to go home. And he just doesn't, he wants to kind of he's the nice guy, and he's trying to keep the nice guy look. And it's like, look, you wanted to go get money, be in LA, and play the fame. His wife has her own brand. She wanted to be out. I think she was a heavy component of, like, we need to go to LA and be out there. I think that's where it comes down to.
Look, and it boils down to this. I mean, look, Freddie's been with the Braves as long as you can put the two together, and they've had a lot of success together. They've gone through a lot. To watch, anytime you have that type of relationship, any kind of breakup, no matter even if it's amicable, is still a breakup, and it happens. There's going to be a little bit of animosity. There's going to be a little back and forth. I actually think that the way that the two have handled it between the coach, the player, the organization, everything is all the GM. I don't think
it was fairly clean.
All that,
no.
Yeah,
it's bad. It's bad because of because it's Freddie, and there's never an ounce of like this around him. And then it's because it's Atlanta, we don't really do much. But I think we've done quite all right.
Well, he's gonna get a different dose of reality because let's be honest, the LA market is completely different, and the Dodgers have been good and they expect the championship. So whereas maybe you could slide under the radar with a little bit of a slump here and there out in Atlanta because you had some other players to maybe bridge that gap. I know that LA is talented, but they scrutinize every single player, and nobody gets a free pass. It'll be a culture shock for him, even though he's from out that way.
Atlanta is very receptive. Different. You can suck and be a good personality, and
they love you.
Yeah, like Jock Peterson, to be fair, he had a kind of a quick little hot streak, but he wasn't that great in the World Series. He was actually absolutely awful, to be honest with you. But because he had his pearls on, bro, anytime he got to bat, I was yelling Big Cock Jock. It did not matter. He had won my heart for forever. Forever. I was more upset when he went to the Giants than Freddie leaving, to be honest with you. I wanted the vibe back, okay? Jock's a vibe, all right? And I loved it. Moving on, UT, the University of Tennessee, I don't know, I guess they're over here got fat stacks, pays a quarterback $8 million. Steven, we're in the wrong business, my guy.
What are we doing with our lives? My gosh.
Bro, so you mean to tell me, first of all, there's this book by Malcolm Gladwell. Not to get all like weird on you guys, but it's a great book. It's called Outlier. Okay? And this book describes perfectly what's going on right now. Okay? It talks about being born at the perfect time. Like for Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. If they're born 10 years before the time they were born, we don't have Apple and we don't have Microsoft. 10 years before, 10 years after, right? They were born at the perfect time where computers are starting to make segue. They were at the right age, right? All that stuff. It breaks it down to having your kids born in a certain month. So when it circles around there, when you hear like, oh, they're a man amongst boys. Well, no, they were born late. So now they're 13-year-olds playing with 12 and 11-year-olds, right? These kids right now were born at the perfect time. That's my point here. Because if you would have told me that, hey, Sheldon, you need to lock it the fuck in from 0 to 16 or 0 to 18 to get $8 million, I promise you, girls, all that, it would have never even been a product of being. It wouldn't even been thought of. My little bros right now, the one IMG, I got another one. They are dialed in like this. Like it's night, morning till night, bro. Morning till night. It is
athletes on the horizon.
It is football. They eat, drink, sleep football, and that's what it has to be. But look, you get $8 million after commitment. And again, I mean, $8 million, you're set at 18. I mean, maybe not by inflation, but I mean, I remember growing up when I heard $8 million. I'm like, yo, you get if I had $1 million in the bank, I'd be chilling. Yeah. But I mean, you can set up. $8 million in 2 years ago from now, or 2 years in the forward. We're talking about $14 gas. Like, I'm broke at 22. This is a good point. Muddy says this is going to make this kid hated, and I think it's like with all this flashing around, man. Like, how are you going to manage this kid? Bro, he's sitting on $8 million. Like, how does that get paid out? I don't know. I don't know the logistics. I don't know how that's going to work. But the kid pulls up in a Lambo. Like, how are you going to be relatable to these kids?
How do you run the locker room? Even if you're the quarterback, how are you going to walk into the locker room with
and have a heart-to-heart with somebody
and be like, "Here's how we need to do things." As I get back in my Lamborghini and I live off campus in like a 4-bedroom condo, overlooking the lake, while these kids are literally living in like a cinder block room with 2 beds on both sides of the room. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you have completely shattered the whole concept of we're all in this together. Because, dude, let me promise you, at $8 million, you are not in this with us. You're not having to run back to the athletic facility at 11 o'clock at night because you're hungry and you got no money.
Right?
I mean, unless this guy's going to be like a patron of the people and he's just going to be like, everybody come one, come all. I have all this money. Y'all come here, hang out here, which could be the thing.
Sure.
And if you get the right personality that can do that, that could be a huge, huge boost for morale. But if you get somebody who's just the slightest bit selfish and they think that, well, I earned this money, you
I'm the
didn't.
Man.
Oh, gosh. It can either be the difference between building the most cohesive locker room that you've ever had
or
versus just a massive wedge between the haves and the have-nots. And I don't even know why they didn't think this through. I just think the NCAA is just probably one of the worst governing bodies of any sport I've ever seen in my natural life. And I'm old as shit, Shelton. I just want to point that out. Old as shit.
you can't look if you shit on yourself, I can't shit on you. Don't take my jokes away. Brian Carter brings up a good point. If he gets $8 million, what's all Archie Arch gonna get? This is what scares me, and this is what he's talking. This is what he's saying right now. This is the base. We only go up from here. This is crazy, bro. Like we're paying these kids. And here's the other concept to grasp is if this kid's getting $8 million, somebody's funding that. Just put your head around how much money is really out there and how much money people really have to be able to give this kid.
It's always been that way.
I know, but
they just had to give it to the boosters. Now they can just give it to the kid.
Well, now you see it more, right? Now it's not as governed. It's not as politically. Like I remember when I went to Vegas for the very first time, and I would see people gamble. Like to me, if I put $10 on a hand, I'm sweating fucking bullets, bro. Like I'm like literally, like I feel like the whole mortgage is on the line. My butthole was pinched. I'm stressing. Like I remember I was winning, and people would walk over and be like, "Yo, what's this guy betting?" Like, "Yo, it's $5 hands." Like it don't matter, right? Like I'm betting 5 on. Yeah, it's just.
Or
if
you lose a couple in a row, you're like,
yeah, it's like
it's all over.
You're looking at Babe like, hey, we might have to wash the dishes later. Like, hey, we might have to wash dishes to get out of here, right?
Yeah.
So, but when I walked to Vegas, bro, the guys are betting $10,000 on a roulette spin. Like, what?
Thank you for that, Sheffield. I appreciate that.
What did he say?
He appreciates my hair, and no matter what, I'm rich.
That's true. That's true.
Heavy spotty.
Yeah, they got to put a cap. They got to put a cap. That's a great point, Brian. It's just shoe deals. God, you're right, money, dude. It's endless. It's absolutely endless. We
deals. Like, I mean, could you imagine slapping a kid? Like, what are these kids in like a small town? Like, I don't know, even like a Tuscaloosa, right? I mean, there's not a lot going on in Tuscaloosa. It's not a huge town. You slap one of these kids on a billboard for pick a dealership name. And like, now he's the face and name of a car dealership. How do you not get a car? You just get a free car. Now you're paying for the car. You have $8 million and you're not paying for the car. I could just, it's just such a bad idea. It's just such a bad idea.
I heard. So he mentioned the lotto. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what he's talking about, but it's a good point. I wonder if the odds of getting a NIT deal are greater than winning the lottery. It feels like at this point, the way the money's been flying, I feel like I see more kids signing NIT deals than I do got people winning the lottery. You know what I mean? Like winning a scratch-off ticket.
Sean, that's a great question. It does look like a dick now that you mention it.
God, dude, people say that. Like I remember when I wore it. You're not the first. What the hell's on that on your hoodie? It's the World Series trophy, Sean. Come on, dude. That is crazy to me. How like I walked into work the first day. Ben Bray goes, "Is that a penis on your shirt?" I go, "What?" Like that was the last thing on my mind when I put this bad boy on. Like that's my favorite hoodie. Like I love this freaking hoodie. I remember when I bought it. I have a sweatshirt with the same thing on there. When I see it in the camera, I realize like, it's a raging penis.
Dude, if you throw the hood on, you're an uncircumcised dick. It's amazing.
Yeah, look, we have the gold. We used to be BDE guys. It's the big dick energy. It's what it is. All right, suck it. Thanks, Sean. Thanks for just rolling me over there. You bus. We got a new bus driver in town. Got a new bus driver in town.
Yeah, Daniel Rivera is pissed.
Daniel Rivera is last week's news. I haven't heard from him much tonight. They were getting at it in the comments, and I think they were getting on a little heavy. He had to bow out. But yeah, I think what if the kid's a bust? That's a great point, Muddy. These are also points. It's absolute mayhem.
Jeff Driscoll got $8 million. What do you do to a kid that gets $8 million and turns into like a Jeff Driscoll? Like, do you want
or
your money
Emory
back?
Jones?
Or Emory, like what? Yeah,
Jeff Driscoll. Jeff Driscoll went to the NFL and has been. I mean, he's made a great backup.
Let's not get down into the details here.
Thank you, Brian.
He wasn't the greatest college quarterback. So at the end of the day, if you throw this kid all this money to be a great college quarterback and he underperforms, like, do you ask for the money back or do you? I mean. Where is the line?
Where's the guarantee? That's interesting. Where's the guarantee? Brian said maybe this is a Viagra commercial. Listen, chew it and do it. If you guys want to give us a call, we will be more than happy to slap your sponsorship on here. Chew it and do it. Blue go. Or chew. Blue chew. I love it. All right, guys. Thank you for an absolute great show tonight. You guys were all hands on deck. A week has done us good. Huh? Do you have the penis trophy? Do you have it?
No, I gave it to Austin.
Did you give it to him?
Austin. Yeah, I put it on his desk.
Oh.
He hid from it. Yeah, I used to have the little penis trophy for
good
Austin
times.
winning the wieners and wags.
Good times.
Good stuff. All
right, guys.
We appreciate everybody being here. You guys are great. We look forward to Wednesday. We talk about it off cast. We can't wait to be here every Wednesday with you guys. You guys crack us the hell up. And by all means, keep coming back. Like, subscribe.
Please.
Come back here on Wednesdays. Beat the hell out of us. Tell us that he's wearing a wiener trophy as a hoodie. That's what we're here for.
That's what. Hey, we love it. He goes St. Peter's to the Final Four is Money's last words. His signing off words. Guys, be back here next week. We go live every Wednesday at 8:35. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. Be a part of it. Support the clan. Support the penis hoodies coming to you to a store near you. Be back next week, guys. We appreciate it. Boogity boogity. Go Gators.